what's up everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the what's next on Agit Kabayel, the undefeated heavyweight contender, following a dominating 4th round knockout victory over Arslanbek Makmuhdov, the previous undefeated hard-hitting prospect contender on the rise. And before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So, this fight between Kabayel and Makmuhdov took place on the Day of Reckoning Supercard that took place on December 23rd. And I'm doing my top 10s right now, so a lot of them are up here and they're official, officially updated, and I got Kabayel in my top 10 now. The reason being, it was tough between him and Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez had that nice win over F.A. Ajagba a couple years back, but he hasn't really done anything since. And then Frank Sanchez looked like crap prior to knocking out Junior Fa in their fight that opened the supercard. Kabayel just absolutely dominated a highly regarded prospect in Makmuhdov. You know, Makmuhdov, yeah, you could tell the difference in styles and what he hasn't learned, and that he can't take a body shot yet. But he came in a solid favorite over Kabayel, whose career best victory was a split decision over Derek Chisora back in 2017, I believe, or 2018, which, hey, that's a big deal, but it was also about 6 years ago. So you kind of take that with a grain of salt because he hasn't done anything since. But Kabayel came in here and just with a mix of body and head and combination work, he absolutely broke down this beast of a man and Makmuhdov and took him down hard. 4th round knockout victory, impressive, and is now, you know, a big deal in the heavyweight division, in my opinion. Now, the big question is now, what's next for Agit Kabayel? So let's run through the top 10 and see. Now, first, his ranking. His highest ranking coming in was like 7th or 8th by like the WBA or something. That should significantly go up, but the division where it really should go up is the WBC, and here's why. Kabayel was number 13 coming into that fight with Makmuhdov. Makmuhdov was number 3. And Deontay Wilder was 1 and Joshua was 2. So Wilder should drop. Joshua looks to be looking at other title belts to go after, you know, in his next fight potentially. And then how do they re-rank the top 5 or whatever? I really believe that Joseph Parker, if he's in the WBC rankings, will move up. You know, but I think Kabayel and Frank Sanchez, it should be like 1, 2, 3. You know, in or out of Joshua, who's probably not going to fight right there. And I could legitimately see Kabayel fighting a Frank Sanchez or a Joseph Parker later this year to determine a mandatory challenger to Tyson Fury's WBC belt. But we'll see. But let's run through the top 10 and take a look. Number 1, we start with Alexander Usyk, the unified and undefeated heavyweight champion. Not seeing that anytime soon for Kabayel. Usyk is in line to fight Fury for the undisputed title February 17th, and both fighters have an automatic rematch clause if they lose. So they're probably going to see each other again later in the year. So I don't think Kabayel, even though I don't think he'd have a shot at Usyk next anyways, but it really can't happen because Usyk's tied up likely for 2 fights with Fury. Then there's Tyson Fury, same thing. He's tied up for 2 fights, most likely against Usyk, so not likely. And again, Fury probably wouldn't consider Kabayel right now anyways. Not a big enough name for him. Anthony Joshua, he's number 3, former unified champ. If Joshua didn't have so many other good opportunities, I think Kabayel might be an option for him, but he does. You know, Joshua could fight Parker in a rematch. He could fight Hrgovic for the IBF title, the vacant IBF title next, or he could fight Zhilei Zhang next. All big time fights, and Joshua wants the big fights. Kabayel's not a big fight for him, so I don't see it. Then there's Filip Hrgović, the IBF mandatory #1 challenger. Not likely. Hrgović is probably going to fight. He's probably going to take on Anthony Joshua next, you know, for the vacant title. That's what a lot of people are saying Joshua wants, that he wants to take on Hrgović for the title now that the fight with Deontay Wilder kind of fell through. Now, we don't know for sure, but that right now is looking to be what could be, you know, could be going on in all that mix right now of the IBF. But that's not a guarantee. But the thing is even if it didn't happen, he's gonna definitely move up the IBF rankings following his victory over Makmuhdov. But I don't think he'll be in position to fight Hrgović for the title, so I'm not seeing it. Then there's Zhilei Zhang, the reigning WBO interim champion. You know, Zhang is drawing a lot of attention from a lot of heavyweights, but he's still only the WBO interim champion. And Zhang could indeed consider a fight with a guy like Kabayel, who's coming off this big win. I think Zhang wants a bigger name opponent though, but I really wouldn't hold it past him to fight a guy like Kabayel, but I'm just gonna say no for now. Then there's Joe Joyce, the former interim champion. Joyce is coming off back-to-back losses to you know, Zhilei Zhang. I don't think he'd want to risk it and take on a guy as crafty as Kabayel, so I'm going to say no. Then there's Daniel Dubois, former WBA regular champion. Dubois probably will have better opportunities than Kabayel in terms of name recognition. He's coming out, you know, he fought Usyk tough. He's fought Joyce tough. He's got a victory over, you know, he's a flashy kind of guy, and he's got a victory over over Jarrell Miller now. So I think Dubois is probably going to look at somebody a little bit bigger and more viable in terms of putting himself in contention for a title. Not going to completely rule it out, but I'm going to lean towards the no. Then following that, I believe in my rankings, I got who's right at the back right there? I know Deontay Wilder's in the mix. I don't think he'll fight Kabayel in a return bout. And Joseph Parker, but Parker, that was such a big win over Wilder that I don't think Parker's going to consider fighting a guy like Kabayel next, when Parker could be in line for a world title or at least an eliminator. Maybe Parker and Kabayel could fight in an eliminator to earn a title shot. I think that's the only way he gets him. So Kabayel, not going to get a ton of look from guys in the top 10 right now, but realistically, I could see him potentially against Joseph Parker in a mandatory title fight, or, I mean, my mandatory title eliminator, or a fight with Frank Sanchez in the same boat. He definitely is going to get looks and definitely get opportunities, and I think he needs to cash in on those and go after those fights. But I'm just excited to see him back in action after a big win like this, and that's it. That's what I got. That is my what's next on undefeated heavyweight contender Agit Kabayel, the former European champion, following his career best win in my book, a upset 4th round knockout victory over Arslanbek Makmuhdov on the Day of Reckoning Supercard. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.